Good afternoon, and another episode of What the Hell Am I Doing with My Life, where, I just question what the hell am I doing with my life. What are we working on? Well, it's what we're always working on. Not to say that it's actually... Now I got a bone to pick with Hoovie's Garage about this, actually. But it's nothing major, but the car that I always seem to be working on. What do you know? The newest car. Hoovie's Garage has a video where he's like, the GL is the most unreliable Mercedes made in the last decade. And I'm like, I really disagree. Everything I ever did to this car was my own hubris. There was literally just a loose bolt on the steering shaft, and I ended up doing an entire steering rack, breaking the front drive shaft while I was doing it. Had to do all that, front diff out. Huge job. It was all my fault. So basically, yeah, it's been a very reliable car. All we're doing today is I already have the serpentine belt out. Why do you have the serpentine belt out? Well, because we're working on pulleys. So this thing has a pretty god-awful noise. I wish I would have recorded it before I took it apart. But it's your typical like a bearing failing. This idler is notorious for failing. It's the top idler, but it's fine. Here's another idler. It's fine. But deep down in the bowels here we have the tensioner. Listen to this baby. Houston, we have a problem. So, what's in the box? What's in the box? Brand new Continental belt. Straight out of Germany. Helmen. We have a whole plethora of I&I bearings. Straight out of Germany. So we got idler, and the... Oh my gosh, it's in there. $80 tensioner. Now, this was $15. This was $20. This was $20. I almost bought the 3 and didn't buy the tensioner because I was like, this is like $80. All that together was like less than $80. And I was like, I'll just buy those 2 and get that. And I was like, but I don't know which one's actually making the noise. So I went ahead and bought all 3. Yeah, good thing I didn't do that because it is the tensioner that is bad. Of course, we're going to replace everything since we're in here. But, yeah, here she is. So, gates, which I found kind of funny. I guess gates and I&I are the same thing. But, oh, beautiful. So, yep, of course it's the one that's just buried deep down the bowels. It's gonna be this or that. It has to be the one that's way down there. Either way, we'll get her done. I never ever wished my car was a V6 until this moment, because this gap is just fantabulous. Should have seen the wrench in the socket in there getting here to the idler bolt to loosen it, with the belt going over. Yeah, it's a real riot. Getting the socket on is the worst part, but either way, we're gonna turn some wrenches today. Oh, by the way, there's an all-road sized hole in the yard there because I just sold the all-road. It was parked right there in the dirt, and now it's gone. Didn't get what I wanted for it, but Mom, if you're watching, yeah, I did just sell it. So that's good because it needed to be sold. So, yeah, not happy about it, but it is what it is. It was just sitting around costing me money and it's wasting space anyway. So, still got an MDX to sell. Still have a massive loan on it, but anyways, let's get back to working on cars. All right, I'm gonna start with these top. Get these 2 top off, and then we'll go down there and pop the tensioner. Okay, video number 2. We're just gonna start from the alternator. It comes up, over the top, down to the power steering pump, over the top, here. Around the AC compressor. Cruises just straight over to the crank pulley, goes around the crank pulley, around the tensioner, up over this, down, between, and back over the alternator. Easy. Alright, let's do it. Oh, alright. That pulley is gonna be just right in the way. Okay, yeah. Alright. That's a bitch. Okay. Alright. Alright. The amount of time it took me to get the tensioner out was the same amount of time it took me to pretty much do everything else, including going and selling a car. This probably, let's see, this bolt, the lower bolt, to be good at, it's this one. Okay, it sits on the bottom. That bolt took me an hour to get out. I got that done. I got all the other pulleys done. I drove the car over here. I opened it. I got tools. I drove to Walmart and sold a car, and all that time is the same amount of time I spent getting that one bolt out. Now, getting the new tensioner in is equally as fun. You've got room to get one arm in here, and that's it. There's no getting another arm in. If I had TCR, he could be down there holding it, because you can get one arm in from the bottom, you can get one arm in from the top. I need a second person to crawl up under there and hold it while I get the bolt started. But I can't get it in position and then put the bolt in. That's kind of the problem I'm having, so then it keeps falling down out of its happy little home, which is that hole right here. This is where it likes to live. Or right in there. There we go. It lives in here. It lives down in there. You can kind of see where, right there where the lower bolt goes. In video, it looks a lot worse. In real life, it's really not that bad. It just, it's really not too bad. I wish this cooler wasn't here, because it's already had its way with my hand. Just me trying to kind of, push and shove and kind of get in there, get that second hand in there. Or the secondary air injection, I wish was maybe just like, over here, frame rail, ground, all this room where I could literally stuff a child. Yeah, I wish that was maybe over there. I know where they do it. They keep everything attached to the engine so you can just plug the engine. I mean, I get it. Just times like this, it's frustrating. Because, even removing that, hey, look at this bolt. Oh, it goes up against this bracket. Like, okay, remove. Yeah, it just, I guess maybe you could remove this bracket from here, but either way, it's stuff I don't want to start dealing with. You know what I mean? But I may end up having to do that, because I cannot get a second arm in there. I really don't want to drain the coolant. I really don't want to do that. Anyway, that's a little... Alright, let's go for a drive. I still think it's making way too much noise. It did have a bad idler, or a bad tensioner for sure. That tensioner was absolutely shot. But it still sounds like it's making a lot of engine noise. Let's give a listen. I don't know. So, thoughts, conclusions. Well, the top two idlers were fine. I mean, I replaced them anyway. And the tensioner was making a bit of racket. I don't know if I put that on video. Maybe I'll have to go find it. But I was making some racket. But let's go ahead and pull over and I'll let you hear what I'm hearing. Now, it's not fully warmed up. 60 degrees Celsius, so was that 120 Fahrenheit? So it's by no means warmed up, but I think this engine's still making too much noise. And I'm starting to get worried that it's maybe an internal like bearing issue, or a like a balance, because I think it has a balance shaft. Maybe it doesn't. I know the V6s have a balance shaft. I don't know if it has a balance shaft or not, but I'm afraid it could be something in the timing chain system. Let's listen. Maybe that's just the sound of the friction of all the drive components on the belt. I mean, it does have a pretty long belt. It's the longest serpentine belt I've ever seen in my life, actually. And this is gonna be one long video. So let's get back and let's take a listen. I'll let you hear what the idler sounded like. And yeah, why not? I'm not even gonna cut this out. We'll just drive back and we'll just leave it all in the video. Let's see, let's just go. The transmission is about to fall out of this thing, though. Unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but true. Well, I should take that back. The trans is great. The torque converter is absolutely ready to fall out of this thing. It has no life left in it. Alright, let's see. Let's get her back here. Not even gonna edit any of this. We're just gonna drive back and we'll come park. I'll go and pop the hood too, just so you can hear that sweet new minivan. Thanks, Dad. You rock. Just waiting for the tax return so I can get the MDX paid off, so I can. Oh, there we go. So I can get it for sale. It's like a whirring sound I'm hearing from over on this side. Anyway, the serpentine belt was like not that old either, which I mean, I guess was a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you look at it. For me personally, I call it a bad thing because it means that it's been, you know, somebody could have done what I just did not that long ago. So I'm not going to bore you with the other two idlers because they sounded great. But let's go ahead and spin this one, let you hear what it sounded like. Where the hell's the button? There we go. Oh my gosh. 37 degrees, but it feels like it's 2. Freezing outside. It's weird. I'm used to Colorado in the winter. The humidity drops down to like 15-20%, but here in the winter it's like 80%. Completely backwards. It actually gets humid in the winter and drier in the summer. In Colorado, it's drier in the winter and more humid in the summer. Alright. So here's our old tensioner. And let's see, how am I going to do this? Just wash my hands too. Blood for the blood god. Let's see. How am I going to do this? Well, I'm just putting you here. There we go. I've heard worse in my life, for sure. I mean, it wasn't failed, but it was failing. It was getting old. So, that definitely did take some noise out of it, but it's still pretty loud, I think. I think the engine's just too damn loud. Anyway, conclusion time. It's done. I'm happy. All roads been sold. I'm sad, but I like the money that I got from it. Took a loss on it, which sucked, but you know, what do you do? Toyota Sienna photobomb. Oh yeah. Anyway, if it ain't straight, make sure you spend way too much money on Mercedes parts. This is what's so nice about Idaho. Doing 90 miles an hour. Not really catching up to anyone. Not passing no one. Well, I can't really see behind me too well, but no cars behind me getting left in the dust or anything. No, we're just cruising. It's just like this all over. You just go like 90 everywhere. It's all laid back, just chilling.